December in Minnesota is no joke. When temperatures dropped to -15 and Dante Rivera's apartment heat stopped working, he called his landlord, Craig Bellman, immediately. "I'll send someone next week," Craig said casually. Next week came and went. No repair person, no follow-up call. The temperature inside Dante's apartment hovered at 48 degrees. He could see his breath when he woke up. Dante called again and again. Each time, Craig had an excuse. The repair guy was busy. Parts were on back order. It wasn't that cold, just use a space heater. But space heaters cost money to run constantly, and Dante was already stretching his paycheck as a grocery store manager. More importantly, it was Craig's legal responsibility to provide heat. Minnesota law was explicit about that. By the third week, Dante's pipes nearly froze. He'd been running water constantly to prevent bursting, which drove up his water bill. His daughter caught a cold that wouldn't go away. Enough was enough. Dante researched his rights and discovered something crucial. When a landlord fails to make necessary repairs after reasonable notice, tenants can arrange repairs themselves and deduct the cost from rent. It's called repair and deduct. He documented everything, every phone call logged with dates and times, every text message, every email. Then he called a licensed HVAC technician himself. The diagnosis was simple: a failed heating element that would cost $600 to replace. The technician was shocked it hadn't been fixed. "This is a safety issue," he said. "You've got kids here. This is negligent." Dante had the repair completed that day. He paid the $600, got a detailed receipt, and sent Craig a certified letter explaining the repair and deduct action. He attached copies of all his previous requests for repair, the invoice, and notice that he'd be deducting the cost from next month's rent. Craig exploded over the phone. "You can't do that. That's my property. You're paying full rent or you're evicted." Dante remained calm. Minnesota Statute 504B.221 allows tenants to repair and deduct when landlords fail to maintain habitable conditions after reasonable notice. "I gave you 3 weeks. The law only requires 14 days. I followed every requirement." Craig threatened eviction anyway. Big mistake. Dante contacted a legal aid attorney who took one look at the documentation and smiled. He doesn't have a case. In fact, he might owe you more. The attorney sent Craig a letter outlining potential claims: failure to maintain habitable premises, violation of implied warranty of habitability, constructive eviction. If Craig pursued eviction, they'd countersue for all rent paid during the period without heat, plus damages. Craig backed down immediately. No eviction, no harassment. And when Dante moved out 6 months later, Craig didn't dare withhold any security deposit. Dante's daughter asked him why he didn't just move sooner. "Because," he said, "sometimes you have to stand up for what's right so the next person doesn't have to freeze."